And we house on their laptops.
We used to go out
She's really just joining it. She's joining it via the internet. She's going to stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch online.
We used to go, where did we go? What was the name of
No.
that? Pizza place. Buckhead.
I'm meeting, so I have to come here in person.
Hello there. Where are we going today?
Big
Al.
Somebody else, there was another restaurant there.
So, Paul, how you doing? Doing good.
Service underage.
It is.
So after these are cut around, I can print it out in lines, so then I'll preview for them.
Yeah, trying to forget that. Yes.
You're still in.
I'm still doing. That's something else I search for.
Moved to Holy.
Did you really? Here?
I don't know if the kids like it. I don't. Oh, we did. Okay. There's something like things like growing up, other people to do that, so they hang out together. When they grow back in. I'd love to go. I wish I could go. When we lived down in Woburn, there were a bunch of us in the neighborhood. I'm not a beer drinker, but there were a bunch of houses where, for the adults, they would move in a circle, and it was beer for the adults.
Get your ass back, get your butt back in here. Can't do that quiet, there's songs in the room.
They would drink it while they're trick or treating. Yeah. But basically, it's a way for about a dozen families to get a dozen different types of beer. You go out and buy, a couple of 6-packs of microbrew. And so they sample all these microbrews, and we did that. For somebody who doesn't drink beer.
No, loves my favorite.
But, almost all the microbrews. For things like that, a good friend of mine considers himself a beer connoisseur, so we'll travel from wherever I want. And, that was always funny. The adults walk up and go, trick or treat.
Where you going in 2 minutes?
We won't.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. You see the one I put back to you yesterday? Lisa, she wanted the area down here. I put it in the yeah, I just looked at it. So no, I grew up in Hooker. So I'm still familiar with that area.
House Masters, Thank you very much for the wonderful, we got chicken salad, we got grapes. What all do we get?
I just lost.
Yes, I guess we do need to make this work, right? Housemasters, we're gonna let you go ahead and get started off. Let's give them a round of applause and thanks for the breakfast that they brought in here. If you did not get, I recommend that you do.
Thanks, Terry. I had an epiphany as I was sitting here watching you guys, and I put the candy out randomly, and I noticed all the swapping going back. And it dawned on me, sales team, negotiators. So what did you get for your chocolate? So who's the newest agent? Newest.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Fresh out of.
Guys, you know better than we do.
Terry's got umbrella here, trying to
We
figure
have an
out.
umbrella.
Blue tie.
Free
No,
gifts.
If you're new in the last 30 days, raise your hand.
Oh.
Every day.
All right, you're handed up.
I do mortgages.
Oh.
Mr. Bolus, I think you are the newest member.
You give it away as a gift.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
So we are Housemaster Property Inspections. We just hit our third year of business. As some of you guys know my story, I came out of corporate America, 30 years, and they want me to move to Detroit. I said, I'm not going. So I'm here. I like Detroit. I just don't want to live there.
And Wendy Williams show, we're gonna watch that today.
I went there a lot. I did, yeah. Downtown Detroit is not so much fun. But we do property inspections. We do both commercial and residential. I've got, I first started this, I was just me. We've got 4 inspectors now. So they're all very qualified. We're actually certified. We've been trained by the National Institute of Building Inspectors. We basically try to come across as a professional appearance at all points in time. We have professional services. We also respond to requests within 24 hours. So that's our goal during the middle of summer, so it's tougher to do that. We get your report out the same day. So you call us 24 hours, report's done that night. So we try and come across professionally, try and come across quickly and very thorough reports. The other thing too is we, check my notes here. We are carry a lot of insurance, and so during the process we indemnify you just in case we miss something, comes out in the process, and we turn around, we have to pick that tab up. I'd like to say I haven't paid out any claims, but so far we're running about $4,000 or $5,000 I paid out for toilets, lights, and stuff like that my inspectors missed, and I get all of them that you miss it because it comes out of my pocket that I have to step behind that, step up, and then basically take care of the situation. The other thing too is starting January 1st, we will do full turnkey. So we do radon, mold, all this other stuff, asbestos, as well as your property inspections. And then we've also started a new company which is called Modern Candlelight. So Modern Candlelight is basically during Christmas time. My inspector's a little slow, so we'll come out and we can straighten Christmas lights as well. So a lot of different things we got going on. Just give us a call. You got a brochure here. Inspections don't have to be scary. Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you. Give another round of applause. All right, we have Carolyn Waters.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. We are having a luncheon today, and I'd love for all of y'all to be there. It's Hughes Drive, which if you go out, it's just a few minutes from downtown Cumming. It's on 2 acres. It's kind of a unique estate. It's at the bottom of Sawney Mountain. We have a yummy lunch, cash drawing.
A yummy lunch. What?
It's a yummy lunch.
Can you define that out?
No,
Yummy.
it's a surprise. I will have my strawberry spinach salad. A yummy lunch, and Kim's already over there setting up for it. This is a neat house. It has 2 master suites, granite in all the bathrooms. The terrace level has a really neat rock climbing wall, so it's kind of a neat property, and we want to get you through there and hopefully have you fun as a buyer. So hope to see all of you there. Thanks so much.
So we got 2 things. One, I'm gonna throw in $50, and for anybody that's willing to do an agent luncheon and do it right, which I know you will, and if you don't, I'll make you do it
Okay,
again.
yeah.
I'll put $50 on the line to help you out. That's just for results agents. So anybody that goes today, they'll collect your cards and we'll draw for $50. Second, it's the expect and respect rule. So if you expect people to go to your luncheons and open houses later on, make sure you go to theirs. And if you go to theirs and you don't see them at yours, let me know. Okay?
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jeff Zuloff. Let's keep it going that way.
It's Halloween, right? This is what we got for you today. It's today's fashion. My favorite week of the year. My week to be a kid again.
Yeah, your costume is awesome.
Thank you.
Very scary.
You see my Superman suit on. Anyways, rates are doing good. As you've seen, or maybe have seen on the news, Feds are going to meet again today, talk about the economy. There's problems over in Brazil, their market tumbled. Good news for our rate. Durable goods came in lower than expected. What else? We have some other reports coming out that are pending home sales a point lower than expected, around 5.8%. So they're expecting 6.7. So, you know, bad news is good news. So I've got good news and bad news, but the good news is the bad news is good for rates. So, I just want to thank everybody for a good month last month, and this is going to be a good month for closings. All the referrals we've received, we appreciate them. We've had some tough deals, some easy deals, some that were closing in 2 weeks, three rush deals closing at the end of this month. One of them we took over from Wells Fargo. It was a 10% jumbo deal. Never easy, but we got it done. Is Ann in here? Gall? Gotta love Ann Gall, right? So this other lender has blown up this deal left, right, sideways, and she just flat out gets on the phone with this loan officer and says, "How long have you been in this business for?" She goes, "Well, less than a year." And she goes, "Okay, they're gonna talk to my lender here." So we took over the deal because we were half a point better in rate on an FHA deal. And so the guy's like, "Well, this is a no-brainer. We're gonna go with you. Can you close us by the 30th? And so we're gonna close Thursday. But so that was another deal we took over. And then that was with Stonegate Mortgage, which I've never heard of. And then we've got another rush coming up, Lisa. A couple that's going to be homeless soon, and we got them on the internet through Paul, and we're going to slam it through in 2 weeks, a rush. So, but that one's clean. So easy deal.
Very good.
Appreciate all the referrals. Keep them coming. We'll take the hard ones, the easy ones, the fast ones, whatever you can send.
30-year, what is it?
It's teetering. I think today we'll end up 3.875 with 0 points. Which is great. Our FHA and VA money, 3.375, 0 points. ARM's around 3% for a 7-year, 10 years around 3.375. I mean, 10 years is a long time. 3.375, you get a fixed conventional loan, so for 10 years. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Anything else?
See your socks. And their stripes too.
But I didn't match mine to my tie.
You know, that's how
I was bothered by that, but I didn't have any yellow or blue tie or stripes.
And that's today's fashion.
Y'all are just bringing sexy back.
This is sexy, we're in trouble.
We're bringing crazy back.
Kim Chapman, everybody know Kim Chapman? Who is Kim Chapman?
Allstate.
He's Allstate. Were you an Allstate football player or anything in high school?
No.
All county?
I'm good friends with Dennis Haisley, though. Everybody knows Dennis
For whoever that is, we're really, that's great.
Haisley. I'm your trusted advisor for all things insurance. So no matter what it is, if you got an insurance related question, let me know. And I'll help you.
That's great. Thank you very much. All right, so I put out yesterday pretty much something that said, where are we headed? I was at a Halloween party this weekend, and I was talking to one of the heads of a big national builder, and he made a statement, and it just got my head thinking. I haven't stopped thinking about it, and so this morning I came in here and I was crunching some numbers, and I said, how real relevant is it? Because he said, how's the market in your opinion? And I said, well, we've seen a little softening, but I think the demand is still there. But, you know, we've seen where it seems like there's more supply and it just kind of makes it feel different. And he said, no, I don't think so. I've been talking to builders and we're all kind of getting a little freaked out right now because the traffic has slowed off significantly. We don't know if it's Ebola, ISIS. We don't know what's going on, but there's something out there. And I got to think about it because my opinion is this: you can ride all over the place, and what do you see turning today? Dirt. More and more dirt turning, more curbs going in, and you still have a good bit of their neighborhoods that have not completely sold out. And not only that, you've had pricing go up, 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 up. So you look at the builders and what they're building and what they were building 2s and 3s, now they're building high 3s to the 6s, 7s. There's one neighborhood that now clearly states 1 million plus that 1 year ago today, it was from the 700s. So now you got builders that have ridden that little train. The demand has been going up, pricing's been going up, everybody's happy. And now all of a sudden you got these neighborhoods turning over that are higher priced across the board. And they're feeling the pain of, to me, it's not a demand issue, it's supply is increasing significantly, so you're gonna feel that leveling off right there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I that was my feeling and my belief. I was like, you can't keep throwing all these new neighborhoods out there and not feel a crunch from the builder side. It's gonna feel softer. On the resale side, if you have a neighborhood that had 10 homes active over the last 2 years, and now all of a sudden you have 20 homes in that same neighborhood, is it gonna feel like there's less traffic going through there? Absolutely, just no. So who in here thinks that the demand has dropped in the, like, who in here feels that the market has shifted in the last 2 to 3 months? Raise your hand. All right, why do you feel like the market has shifted? What have you seen out there? What have you felt? Come on.
We've got typical slowdown for this time of year, and then I think everybody has done their new home summer activity. And now everybody's kind of going, well, let's wait and kind of see what things are. I think people are waiting now.
Well, there's less a sense of urgency, you know.
Yes.
There's no rush to get a deal done. The election's coming up, there's a lot of stuff kind of up in the air. And certainly at the better end, it seems like those are the folks that are kind of attuned to the world, and it seems like they're gonna wait and see how things shake out in the next 90 days.
You know, last year at this time, the sales were going up, up, up compared to the year before. So there was not a slowdown. It was actually, we had a better December than we did in November. So it was like you saw an escalation, and it was like that the year before too.
Well, but the sales are up now over those 2 years also, are they not? I mean, over 12 and over 11. Aren't this year's sales still way up over this
What about
time
the
in
last 2
11 and
months?
12?
What about the last 2 months?
Well,
That's where everybody's saying, oh my gosh, I feel a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's been
So through the
flat,
summer, I
basically.
agree.
is
Through the
what
summer, I
it's
agree
been.
100%. The sales were going through the roof. The last 2 months, it's been a shift. Okay? Don't mean that. I'm not telling you that demand has gone down. We're going to take a look at something, and I'm going to hopefully inspire you guys to go out there and do a little digging on your own so that you can see things in your area that you can communicate to your friends as you're going to the parties coming up. We're in the best season for real estate. It's the party season. So I want you to get your party talk down so that when somebody comes up and goes, oh my gosh, what's going on in the market, you've got something mentally stimulating that you sound awesome versus just a salesperson trying to get in somebody's pocketbook. Yes.
Terry, I think it really depends a lot too on what price point you're in. I've been fortunate enough to have 2 buyers that they were transferring. They had to move now. And it was very difficult to find anything that was decent for them to buy. I couldn't show them a whole bunch of houses. There weren't a whole bunch of houses.
What
And
price
then,
point?
We're like 175 over in my area, which buys you a lot of house, okay? But there's just not many options. And then I've got another couple who's trying to get closer to their family, and they're concerned because they want to buy now because they think the prices are going to go up. So that was the ones that SWAT shared with me, and they're in a hurry. They feel a sense of urgency. So I think if you're in a higher price point, they may still be lagging, thinking that it's still uncertain. But when you get 250 and below, even 300 at my 300s I worked with, they were like, it was hard to find anything. Actually, the ones I've got right now, they're 255. And
that's still a very good price point. So I want to be very,
they
be
were
very aware.
hurrying. they were hurrying.
Hold on, but I need you guys, you're gonna have to dissect the market out in your area, and I'm gonna show you some things here that I want you to go and just start dissecting, 'cause I'm seeing some phenomenal things, big shifts going on in South Forsyth in different price points. And it's gonna be interesting to see what these trends carry on and how things happen, because the one thing that I have heard and what I've noticed is you have those homes that used to go on and you get 2, 3, 4 offers. I haven't heard so much of those lately. Have y'all? Unless it's a very low price point.
We lost the bids.
Unless it's a very low price point, you start getting 3s, 4s, and 5s, and we're not hearing of those. We used to hear them in the 5s, 6s, 7s, unless it's highly competitively priced. We're not seeing that. Are y'all?
I have
Very.
5 listings right now, one in one neighborhood that I have. I can't stop showing it. I cannot stop showing it, and it is, $350. And then another one in another neighborhood, $370, plus $410, now it's down to $370, and the phone rings off the hook for it. I mean, and then there's another one that's $560, nobody in the whole world wants to see, and it's in East Cobb and fantastic. But for certain neighborhoods around here, for me, people want in it. They call every day wanting in this particular neighborhood.
But a year ago, those homes weren't just getting shown, they were getting sold. Day 1, day 2, or before you went on the market.
But I've had 3 offers on this house. I mean, like, people just want to keep buying it.
Okay,
So I don't
but
know.
why isn't it sold?
I'm under contract,
You are, okay. How long did it take you to get it under contract?
2.5 weeks.
What was the price?
I mean, I took 5,000 less than asking,
What was the price?
345.
In this area? Okay. You'll see that that's fine. In this area, 345 is still a very reasonably attractive
Yes.
price. I want to be very specific with this. Okay, so in South Forsyth, we're going to look at 500 and up. See what's going on in that. In Gwinnett County, I would focus on 350 and up and go, let's see what this market's doing and performing. And if it's not going to perform and keep up with the demand supply chart, what's going to happen across the board out there? Okay, so yes, Louis, you had something that you wanted to say.
Yeah, I have clients that, they're looking right now, they're in the 300, 400, and, they're not in a rush because the kids are still in school. They want to change the house where they are. And, I've been sending them stuff, but they have said that if something attracts them, they might pull the trigger, but right now they're waiting on all the new, developments starting up, because they might be able to get a better rate in some of the new subdivisions coming up, compared to what they can get for the pricing. And we had talked about, that's not always the case, but they're not in a rush. This is next year, in February, March, and we'll talk about it, but I'll keep on looking and keep on sending him stuff, but he's not buying what's out there as far as, the resale.
Are people looking for new? I can tell you in Forsyth County, the land price that there's now coming to be where the dirt is turning, those builders, those developers are paying about 2005, 2006 pricing for the dirt. Those are the neighborhoods that are just not coming up. So what you see in new construction, the new wave of homes is going to be a good bit higher for the same exact product than what it was 6 months ago. And it's going to, if you have somebody waiting on new construction to get better, those prices are going way up for the same home. Yes.
I have 7 clients right now waiting to buy houses. They want east or north in Forsyth County, that, there's just nothing out there. There's the homes in these neighborhoods, these new home sales, they're just not facing the right direction. I went into Harrison Park and they had, they were supposed to be releasing 12 homes that would be in a cul-de-sac for those lots. They had over 100 people waiting to be on that list, I know who's going to release. And then they came back and said, we were supposed to release it in October, and now we don't know if we'll release it until December, because the plats are so far behind, we can't keep up with the building. So they're almost a year and 2 months out. If you signed in now, they're not being built, they're not being delivered. So now the builders are starting to slow down. They're not giving the times of even when they're going to be produced. And so all those people that were waiting, they're thinking they're still going to be able to get it under 400,000, and they can't. I can't find a home in Forsyth County under 400,000.
There are a few of them still out there, but here's the deal. If the builder didn't buy the land over a year ago, they're not going to be able to produce that home
Right.
and what the clients are going to want. So you just got a whole lot of shifts going on out there very quickly. It's going to be amazing what happens in the next 6 months. here's the other thing. You're starting to see resale people go, I know that the market gets hot in the spring. I'm going to wait until the spring market. I've already heard this from 3 different people. And what do you say to that? Because logically they're going, well, now we see that because the homes aren't selling as fast as what they were in our neighborhood. It's true. And so we're gonna wait for that spring bounce. Because we feel like now's not the time to sell based off what we're seeing happening in our neighborhood. You live in Laurel Springs, right? Has that been selling off the hook? No. Stagnant almost, unless you get into lower price or unless the home's a giveaway price.
Everything in the smaller section goes like that if it's decent. And the one.
Smaller section is a value price section for that neighborhood that they're gonna be in the 4s, some of them in the high 3s, but mid 4s really.
Everything, no, nothing in the 3s, but mid to upper 4s.
In a neighborhood that goes up into the 8s, 9s. Actually, we got some over $1 million, but they haven't sold. But interesting stuff, because her neighborhood right there is one of the better selling neighborhoods, 500s and up. But it has all of a sudden started to flatline, and you see a lot of the homes in there have been sitting there, especially in the 6s. I was looking at that, you've got just a bunch that have been just sitting there for 6 months plus. What's gonna happen? So it's interesting, and I just want to bring it to you. So here's my limited, I guess this is gonna rank, we'll see. So here's what I want you guys to visualize. Here's your supply line, okay? That's supply. And right here, we'll label demand. And they have been going side by side for the last 1.5 to 2 years, okay, in North Atlanta. Now all of a sudden what's happened is demand's been going through the roof, and then all of a sudden it goes like this. Well, we're not going to have as much demand increasing. It's going to increase just a little bit, but it's going to go off here. And supply, as we've been talking about over the last couple of months, is doing nothing but go up, up, up. We're at 18% more inventory than we were a year ago. Same year-over-year stuff. Here's your demand. Price has gone consistently for the last 2.5 years in North Atlanta, just like this, followed the trends. And guess what happened? All of a sudden you have all these resales listing and agents are going, hey, I'm feeling good about the market, man, and it's still going. All of a sudden fall happens, we have the school going, we have Ebola come out, we have ISIS, and all of a sudden the pricing thought process has been following the trends that it's been doing, the list prices. But then all of a sudden what's going to happen when the supply has kept going up, and guess what, it's still going up more than it was last year. Same time, you're going to have a price adjustment come down and match where the demand is today. Because what's the leading driver of price? It's the demand for a product. So I want you guys to visualize this. Actually, in these little packets that I have over here, I've got a sheet in there that has this same drawing. And I want you to visualize this because if you're talking with somebody, if you have a home that has not sold, this is a conversation that you need to draw up for them. You've got 2 things that affects a home sellability. It may be priced right, but not for the condition it's in. And when I say condition, I don't only mean, painting is fresh, new carpeting, but the details of the new stuff. Does it have granite? Does it have stainless steel? Does it have what the people have been buying the new construction over? If you're not willing to adjust the physical appearance and condition of the home, then you can only do one thing, adjust the price, period. So does this make sense to you? Does anybody disagree with me that, hey, for 2 years, we've had a solid run. All 3 lines have been doing nothing but going up. Demand has been going up, pricing has been going up, and supply has been going up. And then all of a sudden, we didn't hit a flat line. I'm telling you, demand has not dropped off, but it stopped increasing the pace that it was because the prices had gone up. And this is what we're going through right here, right now. And the builders are freaking out over it. And now they're not selling all the pre-sales that they were before. Now all of a sudden they're having to build inventory, which scares them even more. And then you got builders that bought a lot of lots, and all of a sudden they're going, dang, we were counting that we'd be done with this neighborhood 6 months ago. Now we're having this string on, we've already got these other neighborhoods committed to. What are those builders gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna do. We just saw the first one yesterday of a builder, SR Homes, that has been killing it in the marketplace for the last 2 years. They have been riding that train, they've been riding the big white horse, and they've gone, man, this is phenomenal. All of a sudden, yesterday, we get an email. $10,000 bonus. Contracts written by November 30th on these homes, and there was about 8 homes on the list. $10,000 bonus to an agent to bring them a contract by the end of November. Have they had to offer anything after this point in time? No. It's $10,000, a big chunk out of their pocket, because you also know they're not just going to hold tight on those pricing. What are they going to do? They're going to be a little bit more flexible. So we need to get these things going. Yes.
Can I ask you, what's going to happen to those houses that are a year out? And if they start lowering their price, these are our clients that have been in contract a year ago, that new homes in the same neighborhood are going to be for less. What happens to my client?
Could be for less. Typically, what a builder is going to do is offer more incentives. They're going to try to hold tight to their price,
Okay.
but offer incentives like closing costs, discount the mortgage rates, make the home more affordable in different ways, but try to maintain that price. That's what their goal is going to be.
Okay.
And then hope that they can get through this time period for the next year to start off in the spring market to come back. That's what they're going to be hoping. Okay. And I think Dee brought up a very valid point. You got the election coming up, and I have not heard anybody talk about that in the local market, people that I've been talking to. But the election, Ebola, ISIS.
The ending.
Lane last week, I noticed in the back of the room, you kind of chuckled when I mentioned that. I don't know if you believe that, but I believe this. People are slightly freaked out about Ebola, and slightly freaked out. We had the shooting last week in Canada, right? People are gonna be going, oh my gosh, what's gonna be going on? It's just reality. It's a psychological process. Combined with the holidays.
I think the big thing is QE3 is ending. And so we're gonna have a huge, the volatility in the market is back. And you're gonna see rates start going up. You're gonna see a lot of up and down with the whole market in general, because we've been riding the QE train for years now. It's been straight
Who
up.
can tell me what QE is? Outside Paul, obviously. Who can tell me what QE is? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Aye. Okay. Paul, go ahead and tell them what QE is.
Yeah, quantitative easing. The Fed's been pumping tons of money into bonds and to keep the economy going. And because of that, we've had very low volatility. Everything's been smooth going. People haven't been worried about anything. That's why stock market's been going straight up. And all that's going to come to an end eventually.
A lot of what they've been purchasing has been mortgage-backed securities, which has really kept the mortgage rates low. That's been a big factor.
80 billion a month.
Okay. Jeff, you got anything you want to say about the quantitative easing?
I mean, they're continuing to meet on it, and, based on where the economy is, they're projecting today that they're gonna, talk about keeping rates low through June of next year. And then they'll start looking at pulling back on the buying of mortgage-backed security. Doesn't mean they will stop. Next year, and then they'll reevaluate. So there's just so many moving parts, too many things going on, things that can happen, other economies that affect our economy. We've got, like you said, the elections. I was going to mention that too. Elections are huge, depending on which way it swings. So there's a lot of different moving parts. And right now, they're already saying through June of next year that you're going to stay with us. So.
All right, so, yes.
What neighborhood was it for SR Homes that was doing that, you know?
There's a multitude of their neighborhoods. Basically, they're trying to clear out some inventory that's finished and sitting there. It's taking a lot of dollars out of their pockets each and every month it sits.
Some of the hottest areas in town: Decatur, Columbia Drive, Brookhaven, Brookhaven, and I forgot where the other two were.
And I'm telling you, looking at them, I was kind of like, wow, that's an expensive home. Looking at the outside, I'm like, wow, I'm sure it looks nice inside, but they squeezed it on a tight lot. I was like, ooh, that's a high price, but inventory's starting to pile up. So as more builders have entered the market, because I was talking to somebody just yesterday, and they said, well, all the truck builders are gone. And I said, no, the truck builders are just now starting to come back into it. We've been meeting with some people, the Eckworth people over, and they've reemerged. So it's not just the big national companies that are out there sucking everything up. You have had banks get back in the game, pretty much specific to an area, high school district, but they've all been starting to loan to those truck builders.
What's a truck, but what do you want?
They don't really have an office. They might have an office in their home, but they've got a truck. They drive around and go check out their neighborhoods. It's not a big operation.
Basically,
Well, the person I talked to yesterday, they threw out truck builders, and so in my head, that's what I had vision of. I went along with what they're, oh yeah.
Mama, papa, break.
Mama, papa.
So just tell them what we've had for the first time ever.
I can't wait to hear what that is.
New construction expired listings from D.R. Horton.
Oh, yeah.
So then you go, gosh, is it neighborhood specific? No. In the 100s at Bridgetown, Postbrook Farms, Pinehurst. We've never had one. We've never gotten as far as having a home on the ground for 6 months.
So just pay attention to these signs. I'm telling you, I'm not doom and gloom. What I'm saying is you have to be smart as hell, understand the trends, educate your consumers, and get the pricing right and the condition right, period. It's the name of the game. Nothing else matters, period. And the builders are going to get more competitive with incentives towards agents, incentives towards the buyers. They don't want to hold those inventory homes. And if you think you're going to go in there and negotiate on a pre-sale, they ain't going to do that. They're going to get rid of their inventory and they're going to hold tight on the pricing on the pre-sale. It's that simple. And if you have anybody that's out there going, I want to go beat them up on a pre-sale, it ain't going to happen. It's not, unless they advertise whatever special it's going to be. Would you agree with that?
Correct.
So set expectations for buyers. There's going to be a great opportunity over the next 3 to 4 months if somebody wants to buy a new home and it's finished. That builder's going to want to get that home off the books. Doesn't mean they're going to go discount it $100,000, but you can get some good deals, good financing incentives, all that stuff. Great opportunity is going to start to abound over the next 3 to 4 months for new inventory construction.
They may even hold tight on retail, but what they'll avoid is that next scheduled price increase.
So pay attention. Bridleton, starting to get more inventory homes in there. Traditions, y'all know where Traditions is, right across over on Highway 9? When a neighborhood like Traditions, where they had over 700 names on their list of people that were interested in that neighborhood, they've already built, they've got 2 inventory homes that I saw in FMLS starting to be built. If you have 700 names on a whatever list, a VIP list, and you go in there and start building an inventory or 2 home, that means that not enough people bought the pre-sales. So interesting little sign out there. Bridleton sold over 85 homes before they even thought about building an inventory home. All pre-sales. Market shifted. It has demand shifted. So here's what I want you to think. Builders, as more builders get into the market, guess what happens? You feel like it's harder to sell homes. And it is because there's more builders competing for about the same number of buyers. How about you as real estate agents? Who has been licensed in the last year? Raise your hand. About 30–40% of the room. Think about that. So if the demand since last year has not gone up 30 to 40%, that means your job just got that much more difficult. So if demand only went up 15% over the last year, but we had 30 to 40% more agents getting the business, that means that your market actually got tougher and more challenged for your business. Think about that. It's interesting. So you might be going, hey, you know what? I feel like it's a little more difficult and challenging out there. It feels a little softer to me as a business. It should, but that's why I brought these packets over here. For anybody that wants to go out there and do anything in these packets, I highly recommend and encourage you. Because the next several months, it's going to get tighter. You're going to have more agents fighting for fewer listings because more people are going to be saying, I'll wait till next year. Just think about these trends. It's fun. Isn't it fun? But if you can accept it and you go, hey, I'm going to own that and I'm going to get fired up to go out there and build a business today and overcome these objections, how many more listings will you be able to take on versus the others that are having a negative attitude about things, not knowing what the heck's going on and not realizing what the trends are really happening out there? So let's look at Forsyth County. All right, I gotta erase this stuff. Forsyth County, FMLS and the numbers. Where the heck did I put that pen? Right here. Rob, do you know how to?
Eraser. The eraser. All the way right there.
Right.
Graduated.
These are numbers as of this morning. And what I wanted to do is, since the builder that I talked to this weekend, he was pretty much, I sent him a text this morning. I said, hey, I want to talk to you because our conversation intrigued me. And I'm going to tell you what's going on. So Forsyth County, right now today, this morning, there's 1,265 active listings as a whole. 275 of those are new inventory. That's not a lot, but that's going to be increasing, okay? 293 are 500,000 and above, and 41 of those 293 are new above 500,000.
You mean new construction?
Yeah, so basically, of the whole 1,265, 293 are 500,000 above, and of these 293, 41 of those are new. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions about that? All right. Here's the important thing. Forsyth continued, closed. I wanted to look at the last month and a half because that's where everybody's had the freak out moment. The last 2 to 3 months has builders shaking. And then they're going, oh my gosh, is this only going to get worse? 2014 numbers, 873 overall closed in that area. 107 were 500,000 and up, and 179 were new. What does that say? What does that tell you? 107 were 500,000 and up, 179 of the overall 873 were new.
Over 600 resale.
Are more than what they were in 2013. So let's look at demand. Is demand going up or going down? Is more for that same month and a half period this year versus last year. So is demand for the time period of last month and a half going up or going down? It's going up. It's just a very slight escalation. Where we've been going up 15, 20, 30% in numbers, now all of a sudden it's gone from 873, I think it was like 840. So it's like just a slight increase for that time period. So I want you to think back to the price, supply, and demand chart. Supply is going up, demand is still going up, but it's at a heck of a lot slower pace than it was. So we're not going down. The question is, the pricing has leveled off, and a lot of the neighborhoods coming up, and a lot of the listings that are out there right now today are all based off of that continuous rise and continuous escalation. Probably stopped. Flatline. Doesn't mean we're going down. It just means there's a lot of inventory out there that has been priced according to what the charts were doing. And now, the first time in 2 years, we've had a little flattening off in the demand. We've had more people enter the marketplace, and real estate are finding it a little bit more challenged. I feel like, oh my God, what's going on? But the public's still buying at a bigger pace than they were last year. Yes.
Just looking at those numbers and looking at the last slide, overall, it's looking like 2.5 months of inventory. And in the 500s and up, that's looking like 4.5 months of inventory, which, I mean, at any point in the last 10 years, we would call that awesome. I mean, you know, to have 4.5 months of inventory at $500,000, when 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago, we were not measuring it in months. We were measuring it in years. And, you know, now we're measuring it in less than 6 months. So, I mean, yeah, it's not what it was a year ago, but we couldn't sustain that pace from a year ago without a bubble. And so, I mean, it may be a more healthy market.
No, we are. However, everybody's expectations and what they've been doing it from has been in a, you know, today's market versus where it is. So the problem is the pricing has continued on that trend. So we're gonna have a correction.
Oh, it'll correct.
Yes.
You know, in the last 4 or 5 years, what I've seen is you keep on talking about $500,000 and above, even builders coming in and doing that. The ratio now in the Forsyth County, how much have changed from being in the 300s, 250, 350, to now it's shifting to almost a 500. It's looked like we're getting like an Alpharetta, Milton at that time, where the majority of the homes are gonna be in the $500,000 and up. If the trend keeps on going, that's what it's starting to reflect because of the price structure. Instead of being a shift in the Forsyth County, I'd have $1 million and up because of the amount of building that's being selling at that price point.
Yeah, but the problem is you're gonna have neighborhoods like St. Marlowe, Laurel Springs. They don't have new construction, and all of a sudden you have these homes coming up that are worth it, but they still got dating from 1996. You know, they've still got the white appliances in some of them. They got the brass fixtures. Nice homes, nice lots. I just went and when I started going through, I'm getting really interested by this. So Sunday I went around, I went into a couple homes in Laurel Springs, and I was like, oh my gosh, this agent is just not doing their job. Wasn't one of our agents, I'm glad to say. But it was a home, it's $599 on the golf course with a finished basement, killer finished basement. And the way that that agent marketed it, you would have never known the basement was as nice as it was. I would have never stepped down in the basement, and then I've just been going exploring on my own. If I were a buyer, I'd have walked in the main level. I'd have never known about how nice the basement was. I'd have walked in there and walked right out. It's a stucco home on
Fairway to
Stumbling.
Heaven, yeah, I know that one, the gray one.
The basement was awesome. The home is worth every bit of it, but not in the condition that it's in.
It's in crap condition.
I said the home is worth it.
That's what I heard.
You know what, here's the sad part about it. Here's the sad part. The home is, I'm gonna tell you this, the home is worth it in the condition it's in. It just needs a little bit of work for the market to see that. But when I went in there, I'm like, man, this is a great deal. It's a great golf lot, a great view, level back lawn. And I was like, wow.
Style renovation loan.
It does.
It's Dakota's paint, it needs some TLC, I know that.
Little light fixtures in the
Double T,
foyer.
double L, double C.
In the foyer, it had a brass fixture. And in the dining room, it had a dark metal fixture. It's like, why would you put money into the dining room fixture if you're not gonna change it? You see them side by side. In a $599,000 home.
With a golf course view.
With the golf course view of Laurel Springs.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was unbelievable. I'm sitting there going, okay, to me, it was the marketing efforts of the agent and probably $1,500 of stuff keeping that home from selling. And it's probably not gonna sell in the high fives with that agent doing the marketing. That bad. I was horrified, and I was glad that she was not with us. So, I just want you guys to think about this stuff. One, what marketing are you doing for your listings? Do your pictures look good online? Do you have a strategy? I see so many random pictures that people, all they do is just they go dump the photos in the order that they were given. As opposed to going, let me hit the emotional photos on the first 5, put the most impactful photos on the first 5 photos, and you're gonna have a heck of a lot better marketing image to the consumers. But I see agents putting the front of the home and then a bathroom. I mean, it's just crazy. So take ownership of your listings marketing, because it can make a difference if people go in there and seeing what they see in the home. That basement should be littered all over it, and that back lawn should be littered all over that marketing. And that's not there at the very end of that person's marketing. I want you to look at your area, and I want you to go into it and go, hey, where's the lines? If I'm over in Gwinnett County, Lisa, I'm going to start looking at it from 300s and above. It's going to be my 500s line in Gwinnett County. In North Fulton, it's probably going to be 600s. In Forsyth, it's going to be 500s, and start really looking at that. Because if you don't have the pace of sales increase, you got a lot of inventory in that 500s and up, and it's only getting more and more added into the mix. And you're seeing the listings getting stale. If those people get relocated, what's going to happen? If they're not in the right condition, what's going to happen? Are they going to sell? No. So I want you to think about it. Now, any questions about this stuff? I want you to get into the game, and here's what I want you to realize. It's what I call party talk. Get your party talk on. You couldn't find a better time of the year than right now to get engaged in this stuff and go out there and own your market so that when you're at a Halloween party or you're at a Christmas party, Thanksgiving dinner, guess what somebody's going to ask you? What's going on in our market? What's going on in real estate? What are you going to say? Are you going to have something interesting that you can roll through and have a conversation about, or are you just going to be sitting there going, oh, I guess it's good? Own your area. Not that hard. And I'm willing to sit down with you and go through whatever. Mr. Salisbury, I've got a situation that I want to talk about. And that situation is this: financing and due diligence time periods. And you writing stuff that can put your person into an interesting scenario. So I got an email, actually one situation, Melissa was representing some people, and last night was the financing, end of the financing period. Just trying to get in touch with the agent.
Your schedule.
Better hurry up, you're late. Yes.
All right, so she couldn't get in touch with the other agent. The other agent would not return the calls, would not return the texts. We're at the 11th hour. Financing contingency period needed to be extended. In the afternoon, the agent said, send me the amendment and we will get it signed. The sellers will work with this. That was her communication. In the evening, we couldn't get in touch with her. 9:30. I called her. She wouldn't answer the phone. No communication. What do you do? What do you do?
Eliminate.
See if Zula can get it done in the next hour and a half.
He will answer his phone.
You try faxing?
I'll be up at 10 p.m. on it.
You try faxing?
By the way, we'll juice this up a little bit because you can't just, one, if you're going to try to get out of the contract for the finance contingency, your person has to be what? Denied. We're not denied yet. In this case, we actually were denied because the package that was originally being gone for, they've been told no, and it got thrown over the fence to another company that specializes in this type of loan. So we actually did have an out. So we did a termination release, and I communicated for Melissa to the agent, going, okay, this is a wacky situation. We don't want to terminate, but we can't have the unknown happen. $5,000 is on the line for these buyers. It's a lot of money. So they said we'd rather protect our money than to not have a known thing, and we'll take a chance on the home being sold to somebody else. We can't afford to let the $5,000 go. I'm sure a lot of you would be in that same boat. So we sent over a termination release, and then we sent over a bogus amendment. I have to revive the contract somehow, but an amendment right behind it saying all parties acknowledge by signing this, reviving the contract, blah, dated everything out. That's the only thing I could think of because the agent texted me this morning and said, we're in. I had a crisis on my hand, my phone blew up. No, it didn't. I called, the phone rang 5 times. If your phone blows up and dies, it goes straight to voicemail. So by the way, little clue, if you think that you can tell somebody, well, I didn't get that, if it rings, your phone's available. If it goes straight to voicemail, your phone's dead or you're talking on the other line. Okay, so always remember that.
So lie better.
Be smart. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the main thing was the people wanted to protect their earnest money. So that was the direction that we went in. We did the termination release, but I sent this woman 5 emails. The people do not want to terminate, but we don't have an option. So we're going to have to send you a termination release with an amendment to revive the contract as soon as your sellers want to do that. So we'll see, what I still don't know. So weird things are happening. Make sure those guidelines and the timelines too, and don't take somebody's verbal communication as what their sellers do. If nothing was done last night, when Melissa today, where if they didn't get qualified, even though the agent said, hey, we're in, Would they have lost their earnest money had they not been approved? They absolutely would. And I still think that they were playing games. Pissed me off last night. I'm like, okay, whatever. Don't do that to other agents too. The other thing is, I had an email from another agent this morning with a client, a RE/MAX agent that's been in the business a long time. And this is interesting because I wanted to see what Kevin's remarks were on this. The due diligence time period they were in. Our agent owned the property. It was an investment property. The RE/MAX agent submitted their request for repairs in the time frame and put, the first sentence was something to the effect of, if this is not signed within the due diligence time period, then this sentence shall suffice as the termination if this due diligence thing is not accepted. Now here's the thing, this is interesting. Kevin, accepted was spelled E-X-C-E-P-T-E-D.
Nice. Spell your words correctly.
So now listen, this is what I wanted to ask Kevin. So here, this next sentence, it looks great. This guy's trying to protect his buyers in an interesting way, and he does not put accepted, he puts accepted. So to me, by the definition of accepted, that means that as the seller, I'm going to ignore it and accept it out, right? So by them not signing it, that's exactly what they did, right, Kevin? Am I, seriously, think about it. It's interesting, but I was like, one word changed the whole meaning of that sentence. A misspelled word. Think of it, Kevin.
Yeah.
If not accepted, I'm going to accept this out.
The contract saying errors and omissions expected. Used to.
If an agent writes it in there, here's my point, whether it does or not, it's like, the intent is what it is. You can read it and know what it is, but I thought, wow, here was an agent trying to be an attorney.
What you did is you just gave the other side an out, right? That's what you did. By misspelling that word, he gave an argument to the other side. So if you want to argue that point as the other side, you can.
And guess what? What's the other side going to do? Now they're in a position they can argue it. It's interesting. So be careful in what you write. And by the way, I don't know why, but on Facebook, I've noticed a lot of people lately, when they're meaning to write accepted, like I accept, A-C-C-E-P-T. Always remember that. Here's another little tip from Terry. I've noticed so many people on Facebook going, I accept this, and they're writing it E-X-C-E-P-T.
Why does it have spell check?
I felt saying, well, it's still,
But the word is the word is spelled right.
I failed senior English, and I know this.
It doesn't have any of that. It's like there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, see, so many people are at T-H-E-R-E, and they're saying there, such, whatever. So be careful about what you write, be careful about what you post, and be careful for your clients. Kevin, you got anything you want to bring up or talk about?
No, I was going to mention the fact that on the termination release with your financing contingency, we had that situation previously where the agent sent over both. One party operated under one side of that, like it was terminated because she relied verbally on the fact that the other guy said, oh yeah, we're signing the extension or what do you call it, reviving the contract. We're going to operate under that. And so they got to the end and there was a price disagreement over the due diligence stuff. It was a due diligence period, not a financing contingency. So each side was operating under something separate. One operated under the termination saying, well, we can just do whatever we want now because we're not under contract because you never signed it within the time period. You never signed the extension or whatever it was within the time period, so now we're terminated. I would just separate those by a day or two. You know what I'm saying? So that there's no options, it's terminated. And then send it over the next day. If you would like to revive, you may go ahead and sign this and revive it.
And we like a $5,000 reduction.
Well, that's what it was 10,000. In this particular instance, the due diligence period had due diligence stuff. The inspection had some stuff on it, The agent operated like it was terminated because they didn't agree to the reduction within that due diligence period. The other side said, yeah, we signed it, and sent it back the next morning or whatever after, you know, it never got her to sign.
And that ended up where the buyers that we represented lost their earnest money because the attorney's interpretation was that we were wrong. And
The seller's attorney.
Yeah, the seller's attorney. So just be careful about what you do, and if you get yourself into a bind, get with us, and we'll see if we can't help get you in a better spot. This right over here, I'm encouraging you guys to take with you. This is the stuff that the people in 60-day boot camp are required to do. You're not required to do it unless you're in a 60-day boot camp. But this is a great little starting point. If you want to get your production going, here's a 90-day work plan. It gives you action-oriented stuff. It's optional to you guys unless you're in the 60-day boot camp. But see what they're going to be doing, because even if you didn't do it all, if you did some of it, it's going to help you during this next time period. Whatever, you got it. So,
How you spell it?
we're here to help you through this time period. It is going to get more challenging and more interesting as the year goes on. More agents are getting into business. What are you doing to get a bigger share of the pie? That's all you got to focus on. It's this stuff right here that's going to make a difference for you. Either do it or you don't. New people are going to be coming in, they're going to be going, hey, I don't have anything else to do. I'm going to go do this. And they're going to start winning. You're going to see traction happening out there. So these are over here. It is to help you. Any questions or comments? Mr. Northwest, you got anything you want to say?
Mr. Northwest?
Yeah.
Just here to help you guys any way I can. Re-inspections, fall is coming on, so check your attics. Be aware that wildlife is going to be moving in. If you like it for inspection, please call me. I've got cars that are.
Well, there's a good one. Tell your sellers, get the hell out of here because the wildlife's going to move in.
Speaking of Northwest, on November 7th, Friday, November 7th, 9:30, they're doing a CE class for us in here.
I will be here.
Yes. So please sign up. Let me know what's coming. November 7th? November 7th, next Friday.
And how'd y'all's fall festival go?
It was fabulous. We had the most beautiful horses there. They came from Wander, Georgia. They were white and they each weighed 1 ton each. They were absolutely beautiful. This guy goes around and he actually does, sounds a little morbid, but he does horse-drawn funerals. And he was called to go to Pennsylvania. But these horses were just gorgeous. And we had the best face painter and we had jumpy houses and bingo games. It was really, really cute. We had a lot of good people turn out and it was nice.
And notice the one word that I heard 3 times from her in the last hour was what? Fabulous. An expressive personality back there. It's fabulous. How was your
And this one guy,
fabulous?
I did a, this is amazing. I did a candy corn drawing and there were 2565 candy corn in this jar, right? One guy got within 200. Is that not insane? That's just a little, that's just, it was a lot of candy. I did not count that. Heck no, I took the serving for bags. I did that.
And let me say this. Hold on, hey, hold on 1 second, please. Everyone know Roger Ackerman passed away in the triathlon. His funeral service is going to be Thursday at 11 at North Point. I'm hoping everybody can go. I've got to fly out tomorrow. I've got back-to-back funerals. I've never had this before. So my uncle passes away, so I got to go out to Texas tomorrow morning for that funeral, then fly back to 6 a.m. for Rogers. So I'll be a little tired on Thursday, but if you can go, go. Rob, when is the Explode conference? Okay, we're not even going to talk about that. Go to Rogers' thing. There is an event, but more things are more important. So we'll focus on that, and that's it. Y'all have a great day, and thank you for being here. And Wednesday night is call night. We're calling Center of Influence, and we're going to come up with the market stats for you. Production's happening from those call nights, so make sure you're here, and it's going to be great. So thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.
Hey, how are you? Good.